Ladies and gentlemen, the time is now 8:07, and welcome to the June 17th, 2026 meeting of the Mayor and Town Council of Forest Heights, Maryland. This meeting will now come to order. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Hines. Councilmember Kennedy.
Here.
Councilmember Brownson. Councilmember Little.
Present.
Councilmember McDonald.
Here.
Council President Noble.
Here.
Mayor Lilly.
Present.
Mr. Mayor, we have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next on our agenda, we will have a moment of silence. Thank you. Next on our agenda, we have the Pledge of Allegiance. At this time, we ask everyone who's able to stand with us. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. All right, the minutes are the next item on our agenda. Meeting minutes for June 1st, 2026 were distributed in advance. Are there any changes or corrections to the minutes from June 1st? All right, hearing none, the minutes from June 1 are approved that they appear. Next, we'll have approval of the main agenda. I move that we adopt tonight's main agenda.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that we adopt tonight's main agenda. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Are there any opposed? Are there any opposed? Hearing none, the ayes have it, and the agenda is adopted. Next, we'll have a Juneteenth proclamation. This proclamation states, whereas Juneteenth, observed on June 19th, commemorates the day in 1865 when enslaved African Americans in Galveston, Texas, finally learned of their freedom, over 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation was issued. Whereas this historic day stands as a powerful reminder of the enduring fight for freedom, justice, and equality in America. And whereas the town of Forest Heights, one of the oldest African-American incorporated municipalities in Prince George's County, was built on the same values of self-determination, community strength, and civic pride that Juneteenth represents. And whereas Forest Heights has long stood as a symbol of self-determination and collective progress, with generations of residents contributing to the advancement, cultural richness, and unity that defines the town's history and contemporary character. And whereas the celebration of Juneteenth aligns deeply with the town's own history, honoring the ongoing pursuit of freedom, equality, and opportunity, values that have guided Forest Heights from its founding through its continued service to the community. And now, therefore, I, Troy Barrington Lilly, Mayor, and the Town Council of the Town of Forest Heights, do hereby proclaim June 19th, 2023 as Juneteenth in the Town of Forest Heights, and encourage all residents to honor this day through education, reflection, and celebration of freedom and unity. I move that we adopt the Juneteenth proclamation.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that we adopt the Juneteenth proclamation. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Hearing none, the ayes have it, and the proclamation is adopted. Next, we'll have an Independence Day proclamation. This proclamation reads, whereas on the 4th day of July in the year 1776, the Continental Congress did adopt the Declaration of Independence, thereby proclaiming the birth of a new nation conceived in liberty and dedicated to the principles of equality, justice, and self-governance. Whereas the observance of Independence Day affords the citizens of this great nation an opportunity to honor the founding ideals upon which the United States of America was established, and to reflect with gratitude upon the sacrifices made by those who have defended and preserved our freedoms. And whereas the town of Forest Heights stands as a testament to the enduring strength of community, the value of civic engagement, and the shared responsibility of all citizens to uphold the rights and privileges secured by our nation's founders. And now, therefore, I, Troy Barrington Lilly, Mayor and Council of the town of Forest Heights, by virtue of the authority vested in us, do hereby proclaim Saturday, July 4th, 2026, as a solemn day of remembrance and joyful celebration, encouraging all residents to commemorate the independence of the United States with reverence for our shared history, gratitude for our enduring freedoms, which we cherish, and a renewed commitment to unity, service, and collective progress. And in witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the town of Forest Heights to be affixed this 4th day of July in the year of our Lord, 2026, of the independence of the United States of America. And I'll make a special note that this is the 250th anniversary of the founding of our nation. I move that we adopt the Independence Day Proclamation. Is there a second?
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that we adopt the Independence Day Proclamation. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Are there any opposed? Hearing none, the ayes have it. Proclamation is adopted. Next, we will have the swearing in for our new code enforcement officer, Mr. Devetri Ford. You come forward, please, sir. Okay, Mr. Ford, you're going to stand here. And we will have you swearing. Do we have someone to hold the Bible? Madam Clerk, if you would please. All right, you'll place your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
Devetri Ford,
Do swear that I will
do swear that I will
support the Constitution of the United States
support the Constitution of the United States
and that I will be faithful
and that I will be faithful.
Just a moment. You can relax for a second.
Yes.
All right, let's start over, Mr. Ford, from the beginning. I
I, Devetri Ford,
do swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
do swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
and that I will be faithful
that I will be faithful
and bear true allegiance
and bear true allegiance
to the state of Maryland
to the state of Maryland,
and support the Constitution and laws thereof,
support the Constitution and laws thereof,
and that I will,
and that I will,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully,
diligently and faithfully,
without partiality or prejudice,
without partiality or prejudice,
execute the office of
execute the office of
Code Enforcement Officer
Code Enforcement Officer
in the town of Forest Heights,
in the town of Forest Heights,
according to the Constitution and laws of this state.
according to the Constitution of laws of this state.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
We're gonna sign this form. Take a photograph really quickly before you take a seat. We'll stay here to the right. So. Next on our agenda, we have a presentation from Greenwell Consulting. Are they online this evening? Not seeing them at this time. If they come in at a later time, we'll entertain if we want to make adjustments to the agenda to allow a presentation. But this time we'll move on to the council member and mayor reports. And we'll begin in Ward 1 with Councilmember McDonald.
Good evening, everyone. I have nothing to report. Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Councilmember Little, also in Ward 1.
Good evening, everyone. This week I attended the Maryland Municipal League Conference, hence why I am virtual today. I had a good time networking with other elected officials from different municipalities and just seeing what the issues and concerns are they're having. And it seems that we all have this shared issue of the stop sign cameras. So that was a good time discussing. And I also learned and gained a lot of information that I'm ready to put to use this year. Also, just a reminder that there is no card and crochet night this Friday due to it being a federal holiday. I hope everybody enjoyed their Juneteenth, and that'll be all for me today. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll go to Ward 2. I don't see Councilmember Brownson online, so we'll go to Councilmember Kennedy.
Just two reminders. The Community Shred Day is Saturday, June 27th from 9 to 2. And also, if y'all haven't read the newsletter about the what the police is doing, the sort of like camp educational academy that they're putting together. It's very well put together. A wealth of knowledge can be had for people who are curious about some of the things that the police go through from academy to present day. So looking forward to seeing more people at both functions and all functions.
Thank you. Next, we'll go to Council President Noble. I don't see Councilmember Hines online. She's representing Ward 3.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Just wanted to let everyone know that Flintstone Elementary School is having a yard sale on this Saturday, starting at 10 o'clock, as well as a health fair. Also, just want to talk about the Citizens Academy sponsored by the Forsyth Heights Police Department. This week was the third session and very informative, just giving citizens a better understanding of the duties and responsibilities of the police department. And keeping that in mind, it just gives you a different light and respect for the police officer. So I thank you all for your service. On June 15th, Congressman Ivy and Clyburn had a faith leaders briefing on the Johnson Amendment. That was a virtual meeting, just talking about the sort of thin line between politics and nonprofits. So that was very interesting, and just what's permissible and what's not. Also, again, I want to thank Public Works for putting up the signs. They continue to put up the signs in the town, so that's a good thing. So thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Council President. Just a moment, loading my presentation for this week. Okay, here's my report for June 17th. As you just noticed, we swore in a new code enforcement officer today. And so residents should look forward to increased enforcement, but also education efforts across the town. Myself, the chief of police, and the code enforcement officer have talked extensively about some of the issues that have been observed by residents, council members, myself, but also things that we would like to bring to the attention of residents who may not be as familiar with some of the more specific items in the code and in the charter. So again, it'll be an increased effort of enforcement, but also education. We know that some things are not readily known, and we want to make sure residents are provided with information they can use, because our goal ultimately is to make the town as safe as it can be, presented in its best light, and we do that collaboratively. I don't have a slide for this, but I did want to congratulate Council President Noble, Mr. Keith Holland, and thank the Forsyth Elementary School leadership. They held an event 2 weeks ago where they recognized some members of the community who have taken time out of their schedule as elected officials or employees of the town to provide extra benefit, volunteering, services, and collaboration with Forsyth Elementary School. Also wanted to congratulate Councilmember Brownson. She wasn't able to attend, but she was one of the folks who were recognized as well. It just goes to show that outside of the meetings and the numerous events that the town puts on itself, there are members of our community and our team who are reaching out and taking extra time to sow into the lives of our youth and to support our teachers and educators, which we're very appreciative of. We also will be doing kind of a hybrid celebration this weekend. It's going to be the second installment of the Forsyth Market Series. That's going to be Saturday, June 20th, just one day after Juneteenth. It's going to be at the Gathering Place, which is the large green space next to Henry Soul Cafe, from 12 to 4 p.m. We'll have vendors and we'll have town tables so you can get information about what's going on in the town. You can also sign up for committees, for our text alerts, for our email newsletter, so that you can stay informed about what's happening in the town and hopefully be a contributor as well. And last but not least, this is just the flyer up on the screen for those of you who are home. We're having our community shred and cleanup day. It's going to be from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday, June 27th. The shredding will take place here at the town hall at 5508 Arapahoe Drive. The dumping event will take place at 5529 Livingston Road. They'll happen concurrently, and the one requirement is that you'll just need to show ID so you can prove that you live in Forsyth. And we look forward to seeing you, and we're happy to have this event as part of our efforts as a sustainable community and to bring back and resume some of the efforts that residents are used to over the years. I will also add that we have been working our way through the budget process this year. We held a public hearing on May 20th where we allowed input from community members, and we've made some adjustments so that we can allow more time for deliberation, discussion, and eventual adoption of the budget for FY 2027. While we cannot get everyone the answers that they want all the time, we do appreciate input from members of the community. And I just want to say unequivocally, however, that we have followed the processes that are required by us in our charter and in the state law. And we are going to have a special meeting, which is on the agenda for tomorrow, so that we have time to discuss any final issues that the council may see that's in the budget for FY 2027, to allow additional public comment and to ultimately adopt a budget that reflects the values of this town and that will allow us to be in control of strengthening our financial picture going forward. With that being said, that concludes my report. And next we will have public period. Public period is the time when members of the public have 2 minutes to address the mayor and council. If we can answer your question tonight, we will. If not, we try to follow up within 72 hours after the meeting. And we just ask that residents or members of the public who make comment state their name and their address. Is there anyone who wishes to speak during public period at this time? Yes, if you please come forward. Ms. McCutcheon, if you could just state your address before we start your 2 minutes. Thank you.
The agenda, because it doesn't appear to be the same agenda. I'll open it up. And on the 15th, I think it was, and the 16th. And one of the main things I talked about. Oh, I'm not on here. Oh, excuse me. Do you want to restart my time?
Yes, I do.
Great.
Just one moment.
Okay. Again, my name is Andrea McCutcheon. I live on Seneca Drive. And I have sent 2 letters to the council, one on the 15th and one on the 16th. And it was regarding a couple of things, your budget deliberation, your whole budget process that you had just mentioned that didn't comport with the state law or your charter. And the other thing is that I sent these 2 emails through, I sent copies to everybody, and I sent it through the town clerk, and the town administrator was also CC'd on it. And I had asked that these emails be published in a part of the record so that the council could look at them so that they can see what I had to say, since they apparently didn't get them since I asked them tonight. And he sent me an email back and told me that he acknowledged the receipt of my emails and that all of you were copied. But what he failed to mention, and what I did respond to him saying, is that I had specifically asked for these emails to be a part of the public record for your budget hearing and for your regular meeting. And also your, I'm not even going to say what I had something planned out to say, but I'm not even going to say that. I'll just let you guys continue on along the vein that you're going. And you're not reading any of the rules, obviously, because you've had this budget thing up twice. You're not having a public hearing, and you can't just keep the same budget as you had stated in the last or the meeting before. Yeah, the June 1st meeting. and just, if you don't approve the budget, keep the same one. If you don't approve the budget, just like in the federal government or the state, what you have to do is it stops all your spending except for essential personnel. Okay, but I just want to say that you did not, as
Thank you, Ms.
right
McCutcheon. That
now,
concludes your
these
time.
emails are not with the council and a part of this record.
Thank you, Ms. McCutcheon. Next, we'll move into legislation. And looking at the item that is first up on our agenda, Emergency Ordinance 02-26, which is an emergency ordinance of the mayor and council of the town of Forest Heights, Maryland, to approve and adopt the fiscal year 2027 budget and authorize its amendment by resolution. We have a meeting that's scheduled tomorrow at 6 p.m. virtually. So if it's the council's will, I move that we move this item to discussion tonight. We can go through some of the major sections and see if we have any questions and provide further clarification. We can have this as an item for action at the special meeting, which is scheduled for tomorrow. I don't know. All right. So all in favor of, I move that we amend our agenda, moving emergency ordinance number 02-26 to discussion from action, with it being on our agenda for the special meeting, which will take place tomorrow. Is there a second? Could you turn your mic on for us?
A second.
It has been moved and seconded that we amend tonight's agenda, moving emergency ordinance number 02-26 to discussion and postponing its vote for action to tomorrow, June 18th, the special meeting, which will take place. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Hearing none, the ayes have it, and our agenda is amended. Emergency ordinance number 02-26 is established as we have gone through our budget process this year. We allow more time for discussion and deliberation on the budget, as well as incorporating council input. And this follows the process that is outlaid in our charter, and it comports with state law, contrary to a comment that you've heard here tonight and at past meetings. The charter requires us to have a hearing on the budget, which we did. And it also allows the mayor and council to increase and decrease lines within the budget. The budget that's presented in emergency ordinance number 02-26 has some minor increases, as was the will of the council, and generally maintains the overall appropriations as presented in ordinance number 01-26, which was discussed on several occasions and which failed to pass at our last meeting. We have with us our treasurer and Mr. Frankenfield. Are you able to give a high-level overview of some of the changes that are incorporated in the budget that is affixed to emergency ordinance number 02-26?
Yes, happy to, Mayor and Council. Good evening. From the last version of the budget that we presented, youth and community went up $17,000, $12,000 for the senior lawn mowing program, $5,000 for events, which includes cards and crochet, and youth gaming. The Public Works appropriation went up $4,300 to include the cost of the shredding contractor, similar to the event that the town's holding this weekend. Other minor changes in HR, nothing that changed appropriations. On the police, the 3 hires that we're adding, the chief had requested a higher starting salary than what we had originally presented. We have updated the budget book with those revised salaries, and we found savings in other line items of the budget and salaries that it didn't change the appropriation. So I'll yield there. Happy to answer any questions.
Yes, I'm opening it up to council and I see Council President Noble.
I had a question. I looked at the budget and I sent the email as well about adding additional funding for auditing other than the annual audit to include if needed throughout the year or not needed, but to have the funds available there for bank auditing, credit card auditing, or even grant auditing, just to have that there in case there comes a time where we need to audit those separate things. And I know your explanation was that we didn't need to add that cost because of our processes in place. They work. So, but I would like to add additional funding for auditing.
For the rest of the council, Council President Noble and I exchanged emails this week. My recommendation is to forego the added funds for the additional audits. I'm a certified public accountant. I'm well versed in internal controls and in process and in audit requirements. I think while there could be some value in contracting with another firm for an additional audit service, in addition to our financial statement audit, I think the cost would exceed the value, meaning the town would pay more for such a service than the value it would receive. So I'm happy to change our processes. Obviously, we can perform more reconciliations, draft more reports. My team is best suited for any additional contracting. If you hire an audit firm, we're going to have to teach them our processes. They're not on the front lines. They don't understand our process, and they're not going to add significant value. And for those reasons, I said, I'm not in agreement. I don't think it's a great use of town funds. So I support the will of the body. It sounds like we only have one recommendation at this point. So, Mayor, if you want to open it up for conversation and see if there's other support, I'm in support of it.
Councilmember Kennedy.
I'm in support of it. I would like to see additional funds put there. While we're doing the budget, why not modify it or add it right now as opposed to having to modify it later?
Any further comment, Councilmember McDonald or Little? Then I'll go back to Council President. Council President.
I'm sorry. And it's the additional funding to put in the budget is if we need, as opposed to coming back, amending the budget because something has occurred and we need it. So we may never use it, but it's better that it's there than not there. Thank you.
What was the suggested amount?
Well, we could, from what I am assuming, $10,000 or 10 to 15. I don't know. I guess it depends on what type of audit they would do. And Mr. Frankenfield knows better the cost.
Yeah, and I don't. So if we're going to go back to the question whether our firm does it or we hire an outside contractor to do it, we have to specify the scope, right? We have to come up with the deliverables. We want you to look at our last 12 months of credit card statements and see what the, if there's any variances from our policies and our processes. Depending on what our scope is, drives cost. I think something of value would be 15 to 20,000. So if that's the will of the council, I would say that's the number where you're going to can have a significant engagement that can look at processes fully.
Okay, so why don't we split the difference in, do we want to do 15 initially? Is there support at 15,000?
Yes.
Okay. And it seems like what can happen at this point is, since it is general auditing, it can fall under the same line item. The line item will just increase 15,000.
So are we saying that the auditing that's taking place right now is not sufficient? Is that what we're saying is the reason why we need to increase the line item? I'm just trying to understand the purpose for the increase. It's towards whoever has made the suggestion or proposal. I'm just asking a question. What is the purpose for the increase? And if the current auditing is deemed insufficient, that we would need to have to put more money into auditing?
Council President?
The suggested reason for the funds to be placed there is so that we, this council, this body, this town has the ability to check if necessary. The audit is different than the annual audit. So if we have a special audit for any other reason, from a grant to a bank statement to a credit card,
Okay. Mr. Frankenfield, if you could update that line to increase and add an additional 15,000 on the audit line item.
Sounds great.
I have a question. Are we voting on that, Mayor? Or is that?
It's
Gonna
going to go
be-
into the proposal that we'll review. It's going to become part of emergency ordinance number 02-26.
Okay.
Mr. Frankenfield, did you hear that?
Yes.
Okay. Just a moment. I don't mean to interrupt. Ms. McCutcheon, I know you're familiar with the fact that during the public meeting, members of the public are given a time when they can speak, but outside of that time, you're to refrain from speaking during the meeting. I'm sure you're aware of this rule. And I just want it to be consistent with everyone. Thank you. Councilmember McDonald.
Yes. Mr. Frankenfield, what is the, I guess, normal process or procedure when there has to be an inquiry or an audit done on a portion or part of the town's business or department's business?
So we would have to determine the risk. What is it that we are looking for with the audit? We would have to write up the scope. We would go solicit bids and say, we want you to review the last 12 months of bank statements and determine that the accounting team properly captured the payroll entries. We would have to define exactly what it was that we want them to audit to make sure that we are following our processes. Based on that scope, that defined risk that we have identified, then we would solicit bids for the cost of reviewing that specific part of our financials, our books, our processes. Financial statement audit's a little bit different. It's preparing town financial statements in accordance with the accounting laws and submitting the state's report in their format. It's just a little bit different of an animal. The second audit would be much more specialized.
Okay.
Thank you. At this time, if it is the council's will, we can go to each section and I will see if there's comments or question under the draft budget. This is the major appropriations areas. First, we'll start with the income and revenue. Are there any questions for the income and revenue portion of the budget? Okay. No. No. Yes. Yes, bear with us just a moment. Madam Clerk is going to get some additional documents for the mayor and council. Yes, Councilmember McDonald.
Mr. Frankenfeld, couldn't we ask the current auditors if there was a request for inquiry or if we had needed to get clarity on any portion of the audit that had already been conducted? Could we go back to the auditors to ask them to look into this, I guess, whatever defined area that we would want to discover more about?
So that's a possibility. They're currently auditing the fiscal year 26 books. Again, we have to come up with, this is the risk. And this is the area that we want to take a closer look at. I don't think that's been defined yet. So in the event that is defined and we do see the need for the added service, as long as they're not done with the fiscal year 26 audit, we could say, hey, here's our additional scope. We want you to look at these 7 different things and consider them doing it, or we can put it out to bid and see if anyone else is willing to review it.
Okay, thank you.
Council President.
I just had a comment. For the draft of the budget, we're looking from FY 26 amended to FY 27 draft. But, and I'm assuming, and I don't know because the end of this month will conclude FY 26, that we have spent these actual dollars in FY 26, or are these just the numbers taken from the previous budget?
There's a current year. So I think you're looking at the budget book, or what are you're looking at the legislation?
I'm looking at the budget book.
Budget book compares budgets, and then monthly financials have actuals and budget included in it.
Okay, thank you.
Councilmember Kennedy.
Can you repeat what you just said, please?
So budget book compares the 26 amended budget and the proposed 27 budget. Council President Noble asked about actuals. Actuals are in the emails that we send on a monthly basis, where we have what has financially occurred fiscal year to date compared to the budget.
All right, so is it possible either for this one or previous ones to have the actuals on the same document so we're not flipping back and forth between multiple documents?
Yeah, it's possible. It's, at this stage of the game, it's a significant cost to revise the document. So I would make sure you have buy-in from the rest of the group before we take that on.
All right, thank you.
Okay, any additional questions on the income portion of budget? Councilmember Kennedy.
Would this be better done tomorrow at the meeting? So that way, hopefully the rest of the elected body will be here.
If that's when you'd like to do it.
Yes.
Okay. Any further discussion on emergency ordinance number 02-26? While we're on this, before we move on, this will help. I noticed two things that'll need correction based on our change today. One thing is the adoption of this ordinance is obviously not going to be today. So we'll want to make sure we update the version that appears for tomorrow to state the 17th. And that's in, what page is that on? That's on the top of page 4. In the last paragraph where it says, and having been read. And then also just above the vote tally where it says past the 17th day, that can be updated to the 18th as well. And in the certification on the last page. Additionally, under section 5, the emergency ordinance will actually take place, it'll take effect on the day that it's voted on, as opposed to on July 1. And lastly, under the having been introduced paragraph, that's the second to last paragraph, the date of the public hearing should be updated to the 20th of May. If there's no further discussion on emergency ordinance number 02-26, we will move to the next item on our agenda. Councilmember Kennedy.
Why would this take effect tomorrow?
Because a standard ordinance takes effect 30 days later. The emergency ordinance will take effect on the same day because otherwise it would take time for it to go into effect. So it goes into effect the same day to meet the budget deadline of June 30.
I do understand that, but the budget won't take effect until
July
correct.
1.
Okay, I just want to clarify that.
All right, next we'll go to resolution 45-26. This is a resolution of the mayor and town council of the town of Forest Heights authorizing the purchase of 2 LED radar speed display signs for the Maryland 210 school safety zone corridor utilizing automated speed enforcement program funds. I move that we adopt resolution 45-26.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that we adopt resolution 45-26. Discussion. In a prior meeting, the mayor and council passed a resolution seeking to declare additional areas of 210 in the Kirby Hill Road vicinity as a school zone, as there are 2 educational facilities in the direct vicinity of that area. That approval was granted, or actually prior to that was granted, my apologies. And then the speed cameras, the state has allowed us to introduce those cameras. This legislation would allow signage to be purchased that will notify drivers in that area. Is there any further discussion on resolution 45-26? Council President Noble.
I'm trying to understand. So this is going to show the speed of the cars. Is that correct?
Chief Ruffin.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Kennedy,
Yes.
Councilmember Little,
Yes.
Councilmember McDonald, Council President Noble,
Yes.
Mayor Lily.
Yes.
The vote is unanimous. The motion carries.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next, we will have we have resolution 46-26. This is a resolution authorizing the mayor and council of the town of Forest Heights to execute the participation agreement for the Maryland State Retirement Pension System, MSRPS, and generally relating to employee pension and benefits. I move that we adopt resolution 45-26.
Second.
My apologies, 46-26.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that we adopt resolution 46-26. Discussion. As part of the last piece of paperwork, we need to approve as part of allowing the employees to elect to go into the state's retirement plan. We're required to pass a participation agreement. This is something that came to the town administrator's attention 2 days ago and needs to be passed in the affirmative by June the 22nd. So we're bringing it to the table of mayor and council as soon as was reasonably possible. And Mr. Jackson, you can confirm this is the last item that's required of the town prior to going into the system.
Yes, sir.
Is there any other discussion on resolution 46-26? Council President Noble.
This is the last, I guess, document as far as the employee pension system, but when will that payment be due?
December 2027.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk. Councilmember Kennedy, did you need any of the additional documents?
Oh, fine. I don't think she has anything with this. You have all three. All I have is the emergency.
I see there was something on. Who else doesn't have? Do you have all three? Okay. Do you have all three, Councilmember? You don't. You have one. Okay. Just wanted to make sure that what was showing up on the computer is showing up for everyone. Two of the devices have. Two have three and two have two. Two have one. You've got one item on your.
It doesn't match the printout. We have just the emergency ordinance on the laptop versus the other three that I can verify have all three of the legislation section.
I have all.
Okay.
No, when you go back to the first, this page, yeah, this screen. It only shows the one.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah, I only have one. Exactly.
Okay. If there's no further discussion, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Kennedy,
Yes.
Councilmember Little,
Yes.
Councilmember McDonald,
Yes.
Council President Noble,
Yes.
Mayor Lily.
Yes.
The vote is unanimous. The motion carries.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. As a reminder, that concludes our legislation for this evening. As a reminder, we'll have a special virtual meeting tomorrow at 6 p.m. and we'll be discussing and considering for vote emergency ordinance number 02-26, which will adopt the fiscal year 2027 budget. We will provide an opportunity for public comment at this meeting, and members of the public are welcome to join. That is the only item of legislation we have planned for that meeting, and we hope that you'll join us. The time is now 9:08 and this meeting is adjourned. Good evening.
Okay.
It
Yes.
wasn't a meeting, but it wasn't a meeting. They had a roadmap, so you could walk to see the phases. And then you could write them, questions.
Okay.
No, this is the one that was in home.
I don't understand. Who's putting these on the laptops?
Honestly, I can't tell you their process. I think the computers are just open for you all. I create the agenda, so everybody's should populate. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
Mhm.
I'm not getting the same. That's the case, you can keep that.
Especially this is left. Newsletter.
That's a little frustrating. It's a good thing you put a paper.
But,
copy. Sorry.
but that's the good from, I think.
You know, the good part of this is we can double click.
Right, and see all the documents and things, yes.
One of the, I can't remember which one it is, the signature page.
Okay,
Sometimes the way the name got, I think.
distorted,
Yeah, because mine has it on film too.
okay.
Drop now, in front of.
I don't know why that happens. Okay,
Which pushed everyone else's down, so McDonald doesn't have the D to fill in. So I just wanted to let you know that before somebody else mentions it in open, which is ridiculous.
okay,
Huh?
yes, keep a lookout for that, no problem.